So I wanted to record the session and then we start. So now for us to build this assistance, with the session that we had yesterday, we first needed to set up the environment. And that is the session that we had yesterday. So I don't know who was not able to have the environment. So let's have the document. Yeah, so this was the document that we used. I think I can work with this one and work with this one. Yes, this one is okay. So this is the document that we were using to set up the environment. So in the environment, as we saw, we needed Llama engine. Then we need Langchain that you want to set up today, and you need Python. Okay. So step one, just by asking question, who doesn't have a VS Code? So who doesn't have a VS Code? So if you don't have a VS Code, I had indicated that you go to the link and download it based on your operating system. So for me, I'm using Windows. So you can download VS Code for Windows. So who doesn't have one, kindly? Because if you don't have one, you'll not be able to follow today's session effectively. So this is needed for us to write these codes. So remember, as we are building assistants, remember these are applications. So we have to build them in a very interactive environment like Visual Studio Code. So this is the first thing you need. Make sure you've downloaded VS Code and installed it into your system. The next thing that I wanted was Python 3. I don't know which version is the latest one, but I think it's Python 3.7. If I'm not wrong. Yeah. So ensure you have Python. I think it's Python 3.1, 4.3. I don't know. But basically ensure you have Python installed into your system. Are we together there? I hope everyone has installed Python into their system. I hope you have it. So these are the main two requirements that I really wanted you to have. So if you have the VS Code and you have Python installed, now we can follow through the document and set up our Llama environment. Yeah, so make sure you have Python. So with that one now, let's proceed to the document and go step by step so that at least we confirm whether you are able to do the setup. So if you are not able, please don't feel shy. You can always pass your chat on the comment section, I think. Yeah, so we said that these were the requirements for your machine. I'm not saying that if you have a 4 GB RAM, it would not work. It would work, but it will be a little bit slower. So if you have at least 8 GB RAM computer, or we recommend 16 GB, then it will be very, very fast for you to build this assistant. Also, we mentioned that you need to have at least 10 GB free disk, because now we want to download these models. And then you need Python. So step one, and this is what I really wanted us to confirm, I had mentioned that you go to this website, ollama.com/downloads. So this is the website I was talking about. And then from this website, you download Llama engine. So we had mentioned yesterday that Llama engine, it is used to run large language models locally on your machine without you having to pay or depending on the cloud platform. So you don't need an internet and you don't have to pay. So the first thing you need is to download Llama for your operating system. So that was the first thing. And I think I have it. So if you have it, it looks this way. So this is the Llama. This is what I was talking about. It is actually a software that is used to execute large language models on a local environment. Okay. So with Ollama, I hope you are seeing here that you are able to access variety, quite a number of large language models that you can use, from DeepSeek to Gamma. But I think for our session today, I wanted us to use Llama 3.2. Okay, so if you have Ollama, this is actually the interface. Who didn't install Ollama software? Kindly. I hope everyone has it now. So you download it from the website and then install it. This is the interface I was talking about. Okay. So if that is the case, then if you are using Windows, I don't know if you're using Mac or Linux. In case you are using Mac or Linux, you can let me know. But if you are working on Windows, or if you are working on Windows, I had suggested you use Windows PowerShell. So this is a software that you can use to run commands. It is a command-driven tool that you can use. So kindly open your Windows PowerShell, and according to the description, yeah, sorry for that one. So you open your terminal, and then you now pull. So this is very needed so that now the Llama 3.2 LLM can run globally into your system. So if you check the document, I think I was using this one. I'm going very fast, but I will be able to follow. Now this is where we were downloading the Llama 3.2 software. So this was the brain. So basically for us to execute this system, you need this software, Llama 3.2. So how do you get it? You need to open your terminal or your Windows PowerShell, and then you run the command, Ollama, you pull from all the different LLMs available on Ollama. You want to pull a specific one called Llama 3.2. So there was a reason we were picking Llama 3.2 because we said it is lightweight and it will be faster to run on our local machines. So this is what I did. I hope you did the same. This one takes time. Like mine, I think it took around an hour to pull Llama 3.2. It's almost 2 GB if you check. So you run on your Windows PowerShell, you run Ollama, you pull Llama 3.2. It is a 2 GB AI model. And then if it is fetched successfully, you should see 100% progress here. I hope you did that one. So if you see 100% progress, then that means that you have Ollama installed into your system, which is actually now good because now you want to use the Llama 3.2 LLM to build this AI-powered application. Okay, so now there is a phase where you test whether it really worked. Did it really installed Llama 3.2? So that is now, if you check the document that I shared with you, that was the third step. So that was step 3, where we're being told that once it has downloaded 100%, you now need to verify that everything works by running this command. So you want to run Ollama, run Llama 3.2, the LLM that we have pulled. So we are giving it an input, or we are giving it a prompt. So if you gave it a prompt and saw an output, then your Llama 3.2 software was successfully installed into their system. So this is the same thing I did here. This is the same thing I did here. So if you can see on my command prompt, so you just do it on the command prompt, not the command prompt, but the Windows PowerShell. You just run Ollama. We want to run, I hope you're seeing that one. We want to run Llama 3.2. So this is the command I'm talking about. So, or Llama, we want to run Llama 3.2. And as you are running Llama 3.2, because it is a large language model, we can give it a prompt like this one here, like, hello, I am a student at Marshall Jenga Labs. Then you should expect a response. If you got a response, then your Llama 3.2 LLM was set up successfully into your system. And I hope you can see I got a response. It told me, okay, welcome to Marshall Jenga Lab. That's a unique name for a lab. Just any response that you got. It means that at least you have a large language model that is running locally into your machine so that you are able to give it prompts like this one. This is a prompt. And then with this prompt, you're able to get a response. So that was the main major step that I wanted you to complete yesterday so that now today we can start on development. So anyone who got an issue with those three steps, downloading Olama, the software, downloading Olama, that was the first thing you do. The second thing you were supposed to do was to pull Llama 3.2, and you had to wait until this LLM has been pulled 100% successfully here. And then the last thing you are supposed to do was to run a prompt. If you got a response, then you're good to go. So anyone who got a challenge, I don't know if I can pick. Maybe I can pick one or two. Michael, how was it with those three steps? Because those are the three major steps you need for you to set up. Michael, how was it?
Yes. Okay. Mine is taking a bit time to pull. I don't know
Okay.
why.
When did you start?
Today around 5, 6.
Okay, I think it depends on the internet, but eventually it would pull. Like for mine, I had to wait for like 2 hours for it to pull. So I think if you are there, then I think you are somewhere. You just need to wait until it is 100% successfully pulled. Then from there, you just give it an instruction. If you get a response later, then it definitely confirm that your setup is done successfully. So I don't know who else. Maybe pick someone else. Edwin, how was your setup?
No.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello. I can hear you now.
I was not able to install that Olama.
Okay.
My machine had a mechanical problem, but I've repaired. So I'm
Oh,
currently downloading.
okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
ensure you've needed Olama, then you pull it, and from there you give it a prompt. So anyone who was
Okay,
able to pull successfully? Anyone? Who can I pick? I'm just trying to see whether we have at least one person that we can follow through together. Who was able to pull successfully? Magdalene? Okay. So I think I hope at least we have one. Solomon, were you able to? Was it Solomon? Solomon, were you able to pull it? Were you able to pull it? Following the instruction here, were you able to pull it?
I've been able to download, but to pull, I'm still in the process.
Okay.
I just arrived
Okay.
from.
Okay, sure. So it's still pulling. I think it takes a lot of time. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. But I think you just have to give it a wait. It's a very big software. So once it has pulled successfully, you just go to your terminal here and now give it an input or a prompt. If you get a response, then you are good. I've seen Fatuma, I think you said you are managed, so that is good. Yeah, that is good. But at least you'll be able to follow up with that one, because this is a major step needed for you now to build this AI-powered application. The setup is actually the most important step. If you have it right, then building this application will be very, very, very easier. Okay, so now let's proceed to our today's objective. So like I mentioned, today we wanted to build assistants. So you want to see what are assistants and how can you build them using Olama, Langchain, and now Python. So specifically, we are using Llama 3.2, the one you pulled. You can pull whichever the one you want, by the way. So you're not limited to Llama 3.2. I just picked that one because I think it would work in almost every machine, but you can pull whichever you want. Talking about DeepSeek. DeepSeek is very, very powerful. If you look at the DeepSeek capability, it is very, very close to GPT-4, GPT-5. So DeepSeek is very, very powerful, and with Olama, you are given it for free. So long as you have Olama installed, you can even try and pull DeepSeek version 3.2. So you just give it the exact name here. Just say Olama pull DeepSeek version 3.2. Very, very, very powerful, including others. But for this session, I wanted us to focus on Llama 3.2. I hope you can see there's even Llama 4 that can do even vision model. It can generate images, okay, and other ones. But let's now focus with Llama 3.2 so that now at least everyone is able to work with it. So now let's go to the next step. This means that we have given a prompt. Where is it? Yes, we have given a prompt and you have a response. So it means that you have a large language model on your system. So this would work even if you don't have internet. And I hope you're seeing that there's nowhere we are supposed to pay. And that is the beauty why most developers prefer working with Olama, so that now they have access to a variety of large language models without paying and without internet, without minding about internet, okay? So the next phase, I think it is still explained on the document, if you are able to. So now the next phase, this was a very big milestone, actually. This was a very, very big milestone. Ensure that if you find time, maybe tonight, try and see whether you're able to have Llama 3.2 installed. So now for today, we can now proceed to building this assistant that we've been talking about. So the first thing you need, we need a bridge between, we need libraries. So we need some libraries. And these libraries will act as a bridge between Langchain. So remember we talked about Langchain framework and our Llama 3.2 model. So with Langchain, we are able to use this model that is downloaded to build applications. So rather than just providing prompts here, rather than just providing prompts, input and getting responses, which is very, very basic, we can now leverage Langchain so that now we build AI-powered application that we call assistant. And the first thing you need is this library. There are actually two. So you just need to open your terminal again. You need to open your terminal again, and then you install Langchain or Llama. So this Langchain is specifically for Olama models. And then you install Langchain. So I think tomorrow we'll be installing Langchain community. You are going to see more variety of tools when you install Langchain community. But for today, we were just supposed to install Langchain, Olama, and Langchain. So this one takes like a minute to install. And that is what I did here. I hope you can confirm. I ran this command, this one here, can you see? Yeah, on my terminal, still on my PowerShell. You just need to run pip install Langchain or Llama. So that is a package, and then another package called Langchain. So we need these two packages for us to build assistant. Okay. So we need these two packages for us to build assistant. Who was able to do that one? Fatuma, were you able to install Langchain now up to there? That is if you're able to install Llama 3.2. Were you able to install? Oh, yes, that's okay. So it means that it works. I just wanted to confirm that it works with you as well. So if you have this package installed, this could take like a minute or two installing all the packages that you would want. So this means that the files that you would want to build these assistants. And then you'll be told here that you have successfully installed Langchain 3.1.2, and then there is Langchain Core. We're going to see where you use Langchain Core, and then we have installed Langchain or Llama. There is LangGraph. Remember we talked about LangGraph when we are building complex agents and so many other ones. I don't know whether there is Langsmith, I'm not sure. But with that command, we've installed a lot of packages that will be very, very useful for us to build this AI-powered application. So that is the setup that we needed for us to build this assistant. So for this one, I think this is what we are going to do tomorrow, as we'll be working on RAG. So tomorrow we are going to focus on retrieval augmented generation software. I've already uploaded resources if you want to proceed with RAG. So these are libraries that I had installed while I was testing on my RAG software. So that is the entire setup. That is the entire setup. So now very fast, let's build a very simple assistant and see whether it will actually perform instruction that we are providing to this assistant. So an assistant is something that you give it instruction, then autonomously it can now follow the instruction as it's executing its task. Okay. So the first thing we are supposed to do now, if you're able to do all that setup, I think for everyone else as well, for everyone, I think you can for everyone, you can now follow up on this one. I wanted us to go to the desktop. Let's go to the desktop. Let's go to the desktop. Let's go to the desktop here. Let's go to the desktop. So, sorry, these are some of my files, but I don't mind. This is the one I had tested, but I wanted us to create a new one. So I want you to create a folder. Everyone now, it doesn't matter whether you are able to install these softwares or not. Just go to your desktop, create a folder, creating a new one. I can call it, I want to call this folder AI Assistant, okay? AI Assistant. So let's do that one. So this folder will contain files that we've used to build AI Assistant. I think it should be AI Assistant. Yes, AI Assistant. Perfect. So go to your desktop, create a folder called AI Assistant. There it is. I hope you're able to see it. There it is, AI Assistant. So that is a folder I've created on my desktop. I really like the desktop because with the desktop, you are able to locate it very, very fast. You can create it anywhere, but most of the time, I prefer creating the folder on the desktop. I hope you have it. I hope you're there. I don't want to be very fast at this level because now it's like we've done everything that we wanted. Okay. Now from there, now we need to open Visual Studio Code. And I hope you could remember that Visual Studio Code is a software that is specifically designed for writing code. Okay, instead of now working with Google Colab, which is mainly focused on running models, we want to work with VS Code so that we build systems. We want to build assistants. So I hope you can see I have VS Code here installed. Yeah, this is my VS Code. This is the icon. So open your VS Code, and there it is. There it is. Now, on your VS Code, I hope you're seeing that one. On your VS Code, we want to open a folder. Remember, the folder we are opening is the one we had created called AI Assistant on our desktop. So that is the folder we want to open on VS Code. And now from there, we're able to build these assistants. Okay. So how do you open this folder on your VS Code here? You can just go to File, and I say File here. So click on File menu. It is on the top. It is on the top left. I hope it's on the top left. Yes, top left. I hope you're seeing that one. So click on File. Then open a folder. Just look for the option to open a folder, which is this one here. Open folder. So remember, the folder we are opening, it's on our desktop, and it's called AI Assistant. So that is the folder we want to open. So let's open the folder. It is on the desktop. Make sure you click on the desktop here first. You click on the desktop. Like I said, you can create it anywhere, but I really prefer the desktop because it is very, very easy for you to access your files and folders on the desktop. So now from the desktop, I'm able to pick the folder we created called AI Assistant. It should be there because definitely you created it on the desktop. So it should be there. And then now you select it. So you should be having a very, very black Visual Studio Code. So that is what I was talking about. Now I can even enlarge it here. Perfect. So now we have a VS Code. And I hope you can see that if you go to the Explorer, we have opened a folder called AI Assistant. And the main work of a folder is to store files. So that is the main work of a folder. We want to store files in that folder. So let's create our first file. And following the instruction that we were following on the document, we can create a file now called local_LLM. Remember, everything is in lowercase, there's no space. And then because it is a Python file, it has to have an extension .py, indicating that this is a Python file. So let's go ahead and create the file local_LLM.py. Let's do that one together. So I want to go to my VS Code here. Now, remember, I've already opened the folder, so I just need to create a file. As you can see, it's the first instruction there. Create a file, and we can call it specifically as we were instructed. I think I forgot the instruction. Let me go back again and confirm. It was supposed to be local_LLM.py. So that is what I'm creating here. Let me do that one again. So it should be local_LLM, large language model.py. So it's a Python file. And that is it. I think I need to expand this screen so that everyone is able to see. I hope now you're seeing it clearly. This is the folder called AI Assistant. And then inside that folder, we have a file called local_LLM. So because I really don't wanted us to focus a lot on the code, I just wanted us to copy and paste that code. And then now we can explain it from there. Copy and then paste the code. Then from there, we are able to explain. So let's do that one. Proceed to the instruction I provided. Now, copy this code and paste it into this section here. So this is the workspace. You need to paste it here on this workspace. Let's do that one. I'm copying that one. And finally, we should have created our first AI assistant. So let me copy all the content here very fast up to there. Control C, can press Control C so that you copy that, the entire code, and then we paste it here, and then we execute it. Control V. Yeah, so this is the entire code that we had on the document. And remember, this code has been written on a file called local llm.py. I really like having a very organized work. So I want us to have some spacing, that one, so that I'm able to explain what's happening. I think from there, we can also have another space here. I think another one, you can have it here. And this is basically a Python code. And I clearly wanted to show you that building assistant is very, 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 very simple. It is a 4-step procedure. It is a 4-step procedure. Sorry, I think the first is, I think I needed a comment here. Remember, every code we write is good, we comment them. So I think I can add a comment. Import. So we can now import the necessary library. So that is what I wanted to comment there. Okay. So we are importing the necessary libraries here. So the necessary libraries that we wanted was Langchain or Llama, the one that we installed. So it is a bridge between Langchain and Llama model. And for today, we want to use a module called Chat Llama. So you want to build an interactive chat application. Now, because we will be giving it an instruction, for every assistant, we'll have to give it an instruction. And that is why we talked about prompt engineering, how to structure prompt that can efficiently give us our desired responses. So from Langchain core dot prompt. So inside the Langchain core, we have a lot of items within Langchain core, as we're going to see. We are specifically today, we want to talk about prompts because we want to give our assistant some instruction. And now we can import a class called chat prompt template. I think I talked about all these one as we were discussing about our Langchain. So these are the two libraries we need. So this one will be used to initialize our model, and this one it will be used to provide instruction to the assistant that we are building. So let's start with the first one. Let's use Chat or Llama to initialize our model. So we are now saying that our large language model using Chat or Llama, so the model we are using is Llama 3.2. So if you have successfully pulled Llama 3.2 into your system, then it should work. Later, I'm going to talk about temperature, but for now, just set your temperature to 0. So we have initialized our large language model. We are now saying that from Chat or Llama, we are specifically using Llama 3.2 model. That is the first thing you're supposed to have. Step 2. Now, step 3 is now where you provide your instruction. With this Llama 3.2, what are you trying to build? Which kind of an assistant are you trying to develop? So here, to give that instruction, we can provide it in a prompt template. So we are now saying that our prompt, using chat prompt template that we imported here from messages, our system, so this is a system instruction, what the system is supposed to do. And remember, we talked about prompt engineering. And one of the principles of prompt engineering we mentioned was role-based prompt. Or sometimes we were calling them persona. We are like giving system personality. So a good example of a role-based prompt is this kind of a prompt here, where you're telling the model that now I want you to act as a technical assistant for Marshall Jengalab. So this assistant will try to act as an instructor at Marshall Jenga Lab. So it knows that is the role. Okay. So that is what we call a system prompt. I hope you can see that one. Now, from this instruction, that is now the system knows that from whichever the responses is providing, its responses must reflect a technical assistant at Marshall Jenga Labs. Okay, not anywhere else. Now, the user will be asking you some questions. You'll be now providing your responses as a technical assistant. So this is the user role now. So the user can tell you to explain the concept of, now you're giving user a freedom to provide any topic they want in, it can be in 2 sentences, it can be anything you want. So depending on the instruction you provide. So this one can be altered as you wish. This one here. You can say you can provide it as a course outline, you can provide it as an assignment, but for today, I just wanted this AI assistant to explain a concept based on the topic that you're going to provide in 2 sentences. So that is step 3. We have imported the library. We have initialized the LLMs we are using. Now the system has the instruction. This is now where Langchain comes in. We had the Langchain we talked about chain. I think we talked about chain. So chain talks about the sequence of instruction in a pipe. How should it follow the instruction? How should it follow the instruction? Because here we have a large language model, and here we have an instruction. What should be the chain? So you are giving it the sequence of how the AI will be executing this kind of instruction. So our chain, we are saying that we first need a prompt. So that is the first thing you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have a prompt. It's like a trigger. It is like a trigger. So from the prompt, then we are going to call the LLM. So in other words, we cannot call a large language model without getting a prompt. So there is a chain. So it's like a sequence of steps that we follow. And later we're going to see that as we're building more complex application, we could have a lot of components on the chain. Sometimes you can add a chain to fetch data from Google spreadsheet, another chain to check emails, another chain to send emails, and so on and so forth. So we can have a lot of sequences here on the chain. And as this chain becomes more complex, that is now where we need LangGraph. That is where we need LangGraph. As we have a very complex chain, then we'll need to utilize more complex libraries like a LangGraph. Instead of a Langchain, we can now work with a LangGraph. So that is our chain. Very important. And then now finally here, where now the model gives you a response. So this is just decoration. I think just a decoration. You can do away with it, but you can have it. Doesn't matter. But now this is now the important part. The system has to give you a response. The response follows the chain. Remember, it follows the chain. So the chain is give the prompt, we invoke the LLM. Okay? So for you to invoke this large language model, there is something that is missing. There is something that is missing. As we are invoking the LLM, there is something that was missing, which was the topic. Remember, the system is supposed to explain a concept on a particular topic. So the user has to give the topic. And that is what we are invoking here. That is what we are calling here. So we are saying that as you are invoking that LLM, let's give an example of a topic like vector embedding. So this vector embedding will be substituted here. So it's like the system is told to explain the concept of vector embeddings in 2 sentences. But remember, these topics can change depending on different users. And now we have to print and see the content. So that is the code. I think it's very, very simple if you're able to look at it. We just need to import your library, initialize your LLM, give instruction on the prompt, define the chain, and then now get your response here as you provide the variable topic. So that is what we talked about on prompt templates. I think we mentioned about variables, and we say that with a prompt template, a variable can be substituted inside a prompt. So let me run this one, and let me run this one and see what we get. So how do you run it? Just want you to right click on this white space here, just right click on it. That one. You will get a list of instructions here. You will get a list of options, sorry, not instruction, but option. And one of the options is run Python. I hope you've seen that one, run Python. I hope you've seen that one. And as you run Python, we want to see the output today on a terminal. So run Python on the terminal. So that is it. Then we see whether we are going to get that one. So just have to give it a wait because we are invoking the LLM to give us our response. And that is what we are waiting for here. And this is a very good assistant that we can build an interface so that now users can use it. And basically, this is actually how these assistants are built. I hope you're seeing that it is giving us a response here, only now that it is only on the terminal. So it's telling us that as a technical assistant at Marshall Jenga Lab, so it remembers the role it provides. We gave it. I'm happy to explain what is vector embedding. That is the topic you provided. I hope you've seen that one. So it's now telling us that vector embedding refers to a way of representing complex data in numbers. So it's kind of trying to explain. And if in case I want to have a different topic, for now, we are only limited to here. If you have a different topic, like let's say I wanted it to explain, let's try to explain what is a prompt engineering. Let's try to explain. So it is explaining prompt engineering as an instructor at Marshall Jenga Labs. Let's do that one. Just go to the white space, right click, run the Python. So that is the instruction. Run the Python on the terminal. Fatuma, are you getting responses up to there? And then it should be giving us the, yeah, so now I hope you see that because we have substituted the variables, it is now changing its ideas. Now it's talking about prompt engineering as a process of designing, testing, refining prompts so that we get desired responses. So basically, this is how we build assistant. And with that knowledge, I wanted us to build different assistants, okay? Because we have several assistants, not only for technical mentoring, but we have assistants for financial advice. We have assistants for, I don't know, I think I had given you a document on how to think about this assistant. So yes, I can see, Fatuma, you're getting the responses. I hope you should be getting as for the other student as well. So that is very, very good. That is very, very good, yeah. So ensure you try the first code. If it works, then you are ready to go to build your assistant. And this is what I wanted us to do. So there is a document. I think that was the end of the session here. And that was it. Here, but the good thing about the document is explaining each and every component of that code. And there you go. There you go. There was even an assignment that you're supposed to try out. So now, as you are installing Llama 3.2, I would really want you to build several assistants so that now you understand the idea of coming up with the AI-powered solution. And there is a document I shared with you on the WhatsApp group. I don't know whether you saw it. There was a document I shared with you. I'm trying to locate it. I can't find it. Yeah, this is the one. Perfect. So this is the one. Now we have an idea of building assistants. So we can now take that knowledge to the next level because our main objective here is to build AI assistant that can work within the society. A good example of such assistant is, yeah, but before we build assistant, remember I talked about temperature. I talked about temperature variable that I said you can make it 0. So this is actually the quick reference of temperature. If you give your temperature between 0 and 0.3, your results will be very factual. Depending on the facts, it will be very deterministic. And this basically, we use it, especially when you are dealing with facts. If you go to a healthcare facility, doctors need to work with facts. Similar to finance, you have to work with facts or science, because I think science is based on evidence. So because of that reason, your temperature should be in the range between 0 and 0.3. 0.4, 0.6 is where you can balance creativity and accuracy. For example, for people who are doing planning and consultancies. And then finally, for temperatures between 0.7 and 1, this is an AI model that is creative. It's not depending on facts. It has to be creative. So it can vary the outputs, especially for people who will be using this assistant on marketing, especially when you want the model to brainstorm, then you can make it creative by now defining the temperature. So based on that idea, because our temperature, we stated it as 0, the output we are getting here, they are facts. So we have not allowed the system to be creative. So let's see these other assistants that we have. Maybe I can have 3, then from there, you're able to build the other ones at your own free time. So I thought about agriculture because Kenya and Africa, we are agricultural focused. And a lot of farmers need advices, okay? So we can leverage AI on smart agriculture advice, okay? And I think I've given the description of why this project would be very, very useful. Even though now it's very simple, we can now build up from here. So we are now saying that we can set our temperatures to 0.3. Why? It ensures, I hope you can see that one. With temperature of 0.3, it ensures that the advice you are giving to the farmers, they are grounded and specific rather than speculative. So you have to give someone an advice that you're very sure about, okay? You don't have to brainstorm, okay? So I think what I wanted you to do, it was very, very simple. You create a file. So I think first thing you do, you copy this code. You copy this code. I think I wanted us to do this one. You just copy this code here. Perfect. And then you go to your VS Code here. You create a new file. So just create a new file here. I think you can call this one agriculture. I think let's call it smart agriculture. Smart agriculture. It's very simple, but we can build from here. Smart agriculture. There you go. .py. Remember, it has to be a Python file. Then from there, you paste the code exactly the way it is. And for cleanliness, make sure you separate each module. Like here we have where we imported the libraries. This is where we were setting our LLM. This is where we were giving our prompts. And this is where we were getting our output. So it's good you have this distinction so that you understand what is happening. So I hope you're seeing that now this is the same thing we did. This is the same thing we did, only now we are now only updating the temperature. So that now, as you're advising farmers, you work on ground truth. So you have to be working on facts, okay? And now from there, you check your template. So this is the only thing you change. And that is the main reason why most AI engineers are supposed to work on prompt engineering skills, because that is the main thing you'll be doing on this system. The other parts are the same, because the problem you're passing here will be passed by the farmer. So your work is to work on the prompt here, ensuring that the prompt you are writing will give maximum accuracy to the user. So for example, here we have the system prompt telling that you are an agricultural AI advisor helping farmers optimize their crop yield, soil health, pest control using modern techniques. So this can be improved so that it becomes more useful. So if the system knows this one already, I think I can separate that one. The system knows this one already. Now the user, that is the farmer. So we are talking about the farmer. So the farmer wants the system to provide practical advice for the farming situation on a certain problem. So the problem, you give farmers freedom to give their problems, because different farmers have different problems. So as we are invoking the LLM, the farmer has to provide the problem so that now we pass it here. So for example, this farmer was having a problem of low maize yield due to poor soil facility. So what can you advise this farmer? Let's see what the system got. So let me see what the system got. I think I can clear first. Okay, let's just go with it that way because of time. Yeah, so taking a bit of time. I'm waiting for the response here. That's why I'm waiting for the response. As a smart AI advisor, agricultural AI advisor. So a farmer has a problem because it's acting as an agricultural advisor or an agronomist, then it has to provide grounded facts about the problem. I don't know why it's taking time, but we can just give it a wait and see the responses. I think this one is very long. I think this one looks very long. And I think as we were doing our advanced Python programming, we were talking about generators. So generators would have allowed us to be providing responses as the model is thinking about more responses. So you can yield responses as you're getting it from the model. But because you don't have a generator here for now, we just have to wait for the entire response to be generated. And I think this is the one. So if a farmer was having that problem, I hope you are seeing that this is the advice. So it's telling the farmer that poor soil facility can intend to, yeah. So these are some practical advice that will help you address that issue. And this is the response that we are getting from our smart agriculture assistant. So that is a very good example. I can try one more, and I'll give you the freedom to go and test out the other one. Think about a situation where you can apply AI on your day-to-day operation. So I can try one more. Just try one more. Just go to the document. So this solution will be very, very useful. If we could build up on this one, we could help in precision farming applications. We could talk about food security platforms. We could talk about agri-tech advisory services and rural extension program, with many other ones. Another good example was climate change analysis. I think it's very, very straight. I think let's talk about, I think there was one for digital marketing. Here's this one here. So that we see how we can even make an AI to be more creative. Because if you're a digital marketer or someone in marketing field, then creativity is the key to how you handle your clients. So this is a digital marketing strategist, okay, that can focus on growth and brand advisory. I hope you're seeing that the temperature is 0.7. It's a little bit higher because we need to think about diverse campaign ideas. So we are talking about creativity and varied content suggestions. So let me copy this one, and then now we can call it a day. I leave you to go and try out the other assistants, and you can even build more depending on your area of expertise. So let me go back to my VS Code. I can create another file and create another file here. I can call it smart underscore digital marketer. Yeah, marketer. .py. So it should be a Python file. Then basically just need to paste the code. I think I copied it. I think I didn't copy it right. I need to copy it again. Let me try again. Perfect. And then we can paste it here. Control V. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why we're getting so many errors, but let's see. Yes, I think I didn't copy it very well. Oh, I think I've seen the error. This is the issue. It should be on the line, like that one, yes. Should be on the line. Yeah, so then I make my code clean by separating each module so that now I can even make my own improvements on this one. Perfect. So the only thing I'm supposed to check is the temperature. This system is a little bit creative, and the prompt. So that is the only thing you want to see. So now the prompt, you're saying that you are a digital marketing strategist who helps business grow online through search engine optimization, social media, content strategy. You can craft the prompt the way you want to ensure that now the system exactly does what digital marketers do. Okay. So I think I can run this one. So the question is, we want to create a marketing strategy for a certain business. So the business is an online clothing store targeting youth adults. That is the people we are targeting. So let's see how creative this system will be to generating a marketing strategy. Let's see. So if I run this code, then the response we're waiting for is focusing on digital marketing. So these are the tools I was talking about. As we are thinking about AI, we don't just focus on question and answer. We focus on building tools that different people can use on their day-to-day operation, from people on energy sector, people on medical sector, and so many other ones. So tomorrow, which will be a very, very important session for us, we want to even move deeper and think about AI systems that can work with documents. Because as you know, most companies, most businesses have a lot of information stored on documents, like company policies, receipts, journals, different variety of documents that most businesses are having. So we can build an AI that can work with this document efficiently. And that is what we'll be talking about, retrieval augmented generation. I think it should be here. Yeah, this one here. So tomorrow we'll be focusing on RAG. This document has already been uploaded on the chat, on the WhatsApp group, so you can still follow up if you're able to complete what we've done today. Anyone with a question up to there on building assistant using Langchain and Olama. Anyone with a question, as I'm waiting for that response. But I think for my end, I wish to stop there for today. As we are waiting for the response, you could be now asking any question that you have. Anyone with a question? Anyone with a question? Shadrach, you have a question for me today? I don't know whether I picked your area on medical. I think I picked one for you as well. Can check. But that is a digital marketer giving strategic advice on how to grow online coaching for you. It's now talking about that one. So it's talking about, I'm not very well familiar with digital marketing, but this is the advice that if you're having an online clothing for youth adults, then you can work with that one. Okay. I think you're late trying to follow up. I think I've recorded the session for you, so you'll follow up again at your own free time. But I think that is what I had prepared for you today. I think tomorrow night you have something to do. Try to build as many assistants as possible. And then from there, we can go deeper and talk about RAG. Then we'll be talking about fine tuning. We'll be talking about agents. And then finally, we'll be talking about building an entire ecosystem of an AI application that we can deploy and people can use it for their day-to-day operation. So I think with that one, I'm not seeing any other questions. I wish to stop there for today. See you tomorrow and bye-bye. Yes, I think before I leave, I've seen a question, what about automation? So I think about automation, then we are going to think about how we can use AI in automation. So we are going to think about it as a building this assistant. So remember, we have assistant and we also have agents. Okay, we have assistants and we also have agents. So I think agents are able to do things on their own. I think in that level, we'll be talking about automation.